Well, um, I had a stupid mistake today. What's up, Jared? And when it comes to the stuff like this, like when I had my accident, of course the camera's not recording. I'm in a tree stand, right on, ground pounder. Um, if it has captions, just put on captions, and you can turn the volume all the way down. Um, so I don't really I'm trying to think of how to explain this so that it makes sense. So as climbers, we're always looking to make things easy, make things safer. Um, Yesterday we did our live feed, and you guys seen me filing the saw. And then I discussed with the other file how it actually knocks the guides down and sharpens the teeth at the same time. So if you notice, I sharpened the saw, but I didn't knock the guides down. And a couple of the teeth I grinded down quite a ways, and I knew I should have knocked the guides down. So I got up in a big hickory nut today and was what's up, Dan? I was up in a big hickory nut today, and there was these enormous like horizontal limbs that went out over a shed, and they were stressed. A couple of them had already splintered and slivered and like look all crazy twisted from storm damage, but it's a hickory nut and they stay together like they'll hang forever. So at one point I'm in the middle of cutting, and I'm about to rig an enormous limb, and the saw pinches because it's all. If you've ever dealt with a limb that's split, you'll get to cutting in it and it'll have compression in places where you don't expect it. And what happens? My saw got stuck once, and I anchor it off and work at the job, and I'm like, okay, well, I can tell my saw's not cutting right. I can feel it skipping teeth as I'm trying to cut. So I'm like, well, that's not good. Um, it's cutting okay, but like it's I know that when that's happening, I should stop. Like if the saw's not cutting correct and it's not running correct, I shouldn't. I should just use a different something different, whether it's a back handle or whatever. So I'm in the middle of cutting. That happens. I anchor off and it works okay, and I continue to use the saw. I get to the one last limb, and I was helping my brother, and he had backed his trailer up underneath the tree, and I didn't think it was nowhere near that close. So I put a notch on the last limb, and I go to turn it, and I actually turned it to where it's like directly over his trailer, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't see the trailer. So then I try to bypass and do a sliver cut above the notch and turn it the other direction so that I don't smash his trailer to pieces. Well, in the process, it grabbed my saw and just totally slammed it, ripped it off of me. Um, so most most saddles have these little rings. Okay, now I prefer to use these rings. Yeah, Dan, not my finest moment, but maybe a teachable moment. So these rings right here is what I like to use. I get why some guys don't use a chainsaw lanyard. It's not attached to you, but chainsaws cost so much nowadays. You want to be able to have control of that chainsaw. Say you need to drop it and use your hands, instead of just dropping it and destroying the chainsaw every time. With a chainsaw lanyard, you can lay it down and then pick it back up. So what I usually do is I use carabiners like this that are rated for right here they're rated for like 200 pounds. They're not meant for climbing. So I'm thinking it's strong enough to hold any saw that I have, and it's not too strong. So I clip it on. I'm not wearing this saddle. I'm wearing my new Stratus saddle, and I have it clipped on back here onto one of these rings. And then I have my chainsaw lanyard attached to that, and then I hang it up on my hook. So that's the way it's always set up. That's the way I'm always using it. In the process, my saw got pinched. It ripped my back pretty good, spun me around, ripped it clean off of my saddle. And in the process, I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever had your saw pinched, but your instinct is to want to grab it and try to pull the saw back and get a hold of it. Well, as you can see, it it really, I mean, just it had a hold of the end. I held it as long as I possibly could, and then it twisted my arm all up, ripped the saw out, and I think I still see if I still have it. Yeah, I still have it. So this was on my saddle. Luckily, this ripped away because the recoil. This is the funny part. That recoil lanyard, which I use, but I do not promote because I'm not the biggest fan of the way the company's kind of done me. Because I bought a recoil lanyard, no discount, full price, just to back them. I thought they were good guys, good company, so I'm like, I'm gonna get one of them lanyards. The second I first get that lanyard, I have my 150 attached to me. It slips off the hook, and the weight of the 150, which is like, I don't know, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, totally destroys that lanyard, disconnects it. It pulls every bit of thread out of it, and all my saw did was drop down a few feet, like, and it just totally So I have to re-sew it back up and connect it like back together. Well, they were supposed to send me a new one because that was something wrong with that one. They were supposed to send me one that was probably 2 going on 3 years ago. I've never heard back from them. I reached out to them once. I'm not gonna beg you if you don't want to make it right and hook me up with it. It is what it is. I'm not gonna beg. I'm not gonna continuously ask. So that lanyard doesn't have the breakaway system that it's supposed to have. So therefore, it rips the ring totally off my saddle, twists my back all up, twists my arm all up, and I mean, luckily, this is the only thing that ripped off the saddle. As far as I know, I got to inspect everything. I don't know right now. Um, so that I lost a ring, accessory ring. It took the carabiner that I had. It broke this locking gate and totally took a chunk out of it. Like it must have opened it up somehow and tore it off because these things have a little like ball here at the end. See that kind of ball shape right there? Well, it took a chunk out of this. It broke it off, and then and my hand's still all shaky. So this was still connected to the chainsaw lanyard. The chainsaw lanyard was still connected to the chainsaw, and I'm up in the tree with my back twisted up and my hand all goofed up, and so I had them send me a different saw up. I made one last cut to make a fresh cut, smooth cut on it, and then came down, and I'm sure I'm gonna be in a lot of pain for the next few days as far as my wrist goes, because I have issues with my wrist as it is. But it's just a really big reminder. Um, a chainsaw needs to be working in proper use. If that chainsaw was working the way it should, if it was cutting the way that it should cut and that it does and normally works as, this wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have had time to sliver like that. It wouldn't have had time to pinch my saw. So That's a big thing. I messed up there. I should have made sure that this saw was working properly, and when it wasn't, I should have sent down for a different one. Okay? That's a goof up on my part. But the thing where I've prepped and made sure that I was thinking ahead of time was to make sure that I had my chainsaw lanyard connecting to a part of my saddle that could break away much easier in case something like that was to happen. So that's the reason that I hook to these little accessory pieces. I want I don't want to hook to my D ring or something like that. I don't want something that could really hurt me, destroy my saddle, rip it off of me. I want something like this. Luckily, this gave loose and came off, and that's, you know, kept me from probably getting hurt worse. Um, yeah, I'm still processing it, if I'm being honest. I just know my hand's messed up now. It's not like it's like up in my hand here and like right here on my wrist. Um, yeah, just makes me wonder, should I have just let it go to begin with? And like when I realized like I couldn't hold it, it was going. I had no choice. It was out of my control. I instantly just reach and grab for the limb that I'm standing on to hold myself into place, which twists me around it, and that's when it ripped off of me. Luckily, it ripped off pretty easily. I feel like it could have really twisted me all up and got me hurt. Um, so think ahead. Think of those things that could happen. My chainsaw, I can't remember the last time I've got my saw pinched and had to stop. Today it was twice, and I only made 10 to 15 cuts. So I was having one of them days, and I just figured maybe I'd get on here and talk with you guys, and maybe somebody else could see this and be like, "Yo, I'm not making that same mistake." But yeah, I'm not gonna do a long live feed. Like I said, I'm not feeling too hot right now. Yeah, I just I discussed it yesterday. I'm feeling burnt out as it is, and this did me no good. This isn't the right plan. So this definitely wasn't part of the plan, at least. Yeah, me too, Dan. I mean, I didn't have the greatest, like, strongest tie-in point. So the fact that it broke a 200 safe workload carabiner and ripped that off the saddle, the limb itself was probably 800 to 900 pounds. It was big. Um, yeah, just just a mistake on my part. And the bad part is, I show up, my camera says 89%. I clip it on. I show right getting ready to start. I put the camera down. I get set up, put my saddle on, pick the camera back up to clip, and it says battery dead. And I only had the one battery because I'm like, oh, it's totally full. I'll just be picky with what I record. And I don't know. I guess my batteries are shot, man. And I don't know which is which. So I need to mark that battery and realize that it's the junk one. And I only have one now. But yeah, that just is what it is. What's up, James? This is actually how accidents happen. It's not, but a combination. Yep, that lead to these things. 100%. I had an accident today, James, where the chainsaw just got ripped off of me and ripped off of my saddle, twisted my hand all up, my back. But yeah, I don't want to sit here and boo-hoo about it forever. But thanks, Jake. Yeah, Billy, Murphy's Law. Storm work galore here. I'm still on June, and they saying no power till tomorrow. Damn, GP, that's a bummer. I hope it gets going for you quicker, buddy. I appreciate you coming on and sharing this. No problem. I feel like I should. Like I always say that, you know, I like to use my stuff as like a reason to to for people to learn. But I feel like at the same time, some people record this kind of stupid stuff, and they're like, "I'm posting it because it's gonna go viral. It's what people." And I think that's what I think people think that about me, that maybe I do that, but I mean, I want to prove that like I don't ever if I had it my way, I would never show any mistakes. I wouldn't make mistakes. It just wouldn't be something that would ever happen. But at the same time, I could get away with never talking about this right now, and it just be no one would ever know. It wasn't recorded. So without me getting on here and admitting, hey, I'm an idiot, no one knows. So, I figure it's something I should do, you know, not just do it for the views on a video to monetize it and this and that, but maybe just get on here, especially for the loyal faithfuls, and maybe somebody can learn from it. So, 200-pound work safe load carabiner probably has a 5-to-1 safety factor, so stronger than you might. Yeah, I know, Gordon. That's what I was thinking too. So it didn't totally break it. It like I said, this thing's got a little screw lock on it where you close it up and it locks that off so it can't come open. And it actually broke a chunk out of this so that I don't think that thing actually works anymore. It would always just come open. So um, yeah, I would imagine this thing's probably good. If I'm being honest, I've probably hung 4 to 500 off these before. Um, but you know, don't tell nobody. But you're right, Gordon. Glad you okay for the most part. Yeah, I'm gonna be all right, knee. I like I said, man. I deal with wrist issues, and like I have pretty bad arthritis. My knees are shot and stuff, so the pain's not something that will slow me down. It's a everyday thing for me. So that's I'll take a couple extra ibuprofen. We'll be all right. Hope you heal quickly. A bit of time out can be good. So you're right, Gordon. And maybe just a break is something that I should maybe think about. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not a guy that's swimming in money, so you definitely got to keep the lights on. So, guys, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. Ground pounder, good luck hunting. Um, Gordon, James, Billy, Nee, Dano, all you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully, this is like you know a learning experience for some people. Um, trying to think who else was here. Jake was here. But yeah, not a waste of time. Right on, Dan. I appreciate that though, guys. Um, yeah, I'm good though. So don't don't worry about me. I'll be fine. I just feel stupid. So stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.